What's up, Taiwan? I'm Ethan Liu with 10 minutes of news from here in Taiwan and around the world. The U.S. government has agreed to sell Taiwan fighter jet missiles worth more than $600 million. The deal includes 300 guided rockets for Taiwan's fleet of F-16 jets, 200 are for air combat, and the other 100 are designed for attacking radar systems on the ground. The missile sale from Washington still needs to be approved by Congress. Taiwan expects that to take about a month. Since President Biden came to office in 2021, the U.S. government has agreed to sell Taiwan more than $3 billion worth of weaponry. Taiwan says the missiles will help it defend its airspace from what it calls threats and provocations from China. The American Institute in Taiwan is getting a new chief. Laura Rosenberger, who was a key advisor to President Joe Biden on China issues, will take over as chair to the de facto U.S. embassy here in Taiwan. The former senior director on Biden's National Security Council departed just last month at a turbulent time in the U.S. relationship with Beijing. She would take over the role as the U.S.-based head of the AIT upon the March 20th retirement of James Moriarty, who had been in the role since 2016. Her appointment is seen as the latest move by the U.S. to deepen ties with Taiwan. She's expected to take a more hands-on approach to U.S.-Taiwan relations. Meanwhile, Taiwan's friendship with the Czech Republic, also known as Czechia, has been blossoming. The European country's political support for Taiwan has grown significantly in recent years, and now Czech people are also becoming more aware of Taiwanese innovation and creativity. Rick Lauer reports from the Czech capital Prague, where Taiwanese architects are holding a landmark exhibition.
This is the Czech National Library of Technology in Prague, where a first-of-its-kind exhibition is showcasing more than 100 projects by Taiwanese architects, all of which demonstrate how socially responsible building design can serve and protect the communities they are part of. Behind the event is Taiwanese architect Cho Jun-yu. He's the founder of Taiwan Center, a space for Syrian refugees in Turkey built out of pieces of the border wall between the two countries.
Taiwan Act, Architecture in Social Dialogue, is an exhibition, is a testimony to see how Taiwanese architects' social responsibility, how do they design, how do they create, and see architecture as implementation, as an action to improve the equality of human life in Taiwan.
The exhibition comes as ties between Taiwan and Czechia become closer, angering China, which sees Taiwan as part of its territory and considers any international recognition as a violation of Chinese sovereignty. This exhibition shows how Taiwan wants to act on the world stage, using design and innovation to tackle humanitarian challenges. And as the Czech-Taiwan friendship grows, events like this increase, giving Taiwan a greater voice in Europe. Leon Lien and Rick Lauert in Prague, Czechia for TaiwanPlus.
Lithuania's interparliamentary group with Taiwan is one of the country's biggest lawmaker groups. Leslie Liao caught up with two of its members to understand more about what's driving Lithuania's Taiwan-friendly foreign policy.
When Lithuania allowed Taiwan to open a Taiwanese representative office in its country in 2021, it angered China. Beijing sees Taiwan as part of its territory and puts pressure on countries and even private companies that even imply Taiwan is a separate entity.
PRC was not only threatening and pressuring Lithuania, they were actually applying the unannounced sanctions on Lithuania economically. They denied them, but the result was absolutely obvious.
But Lithuania did not relent, insisting on its right to interact with Taiwan.
We have a foreign policy course we're trying to follow it. If China has a problem with that, well, we can choose how it reacts.
Lithuanian lawmakers Dovile Šakalienė and Arūnas Valinskas may come from different sides of the country's political spectrum, but they're both in the Lithuanian Parliamentary Taiwan Friendship Group, a sign that Taiwan enjoys bipartisan support. And they say Lithuania is in it for the long run.
Sustaining our friendship with Taiwan, expanding our relationship with Taiwan, and supporting you. We are in the democracy club, and this is non-negotiable.
I would say that the public sentiment is overwhelmingly favorable towards deeper connection with Taiwan.
When asked about why Lithuania risked its relations with China, Valinskas says there wasn't much on the line to begin with.
If you look at the numbers of foreign investment, Chinese foreign investment in Lithuania and so on and so forth, it wasn't that much that we actually had to risk.
And to Shakliene, keeping those ties with China was the riskier option.
More and more are realizing that it's a mousetrap economy, that if you hope to get something from China, yes, you get to bite a piece of cheese before the trap cuts off your head.
And it's China's coercive and aggressive foreign policy that makes Lithuania empathize with Taiwan.
We had to fight for our freedom with much bigger countries than ourselves to break free from occupation, to endure communist regime. Now you are living next. You are flourishing democracy living next to authoritarian communist regime.
Soviet Union, Communist China, we see the similarities, and because of our past, it provokes a reaction that is not just about self-interest. It's much more than that.
But it looks like Lithuania won't have to choose between Taiwan and China, because their resolve is starting to make a difference.
China changed its position. Our president, Gitanas Nausėda, following a meeting with WTO Director General, announced that China, which has imposed restrictions on imports from Lithuania, is reversing its position.
We create precedent. If you choose a particular course of foreign policy action, and then as soon as someone, for example, China in this case, goes, oh no, you can't do that, and you say, well, I guess then that we're not going to do it, then you give all the cards to China.
Lithuanian political leaders like Shakliene and Valinskas have stood by Taiwan despite sanctions and punishment from China. They stood their ground and insisted that Lithuania's friendship with Taiwan was its right. In the process, they have shown other countries that it's okay to have relations with Taiwan. Leon Lien and Leslie Liao in Vilnius, Lithuania for TaiwanPlus.
A global index has ranked Taiwan's economy as the 4th freest in the world. The Global Economic Freedom Index is run by the U.S. Heritage Foundation. The rankings show where people have the most control over how much they work, consume, and invest. Singapore topped the chart this year, followed by Switzerland and Ireland. This is the second year in a row Taiwan has earned a spot near the top. The index only gave these 4 countries the top grade of free. The report cites Taiwan's strong commitment to the rule of law and its openness to global commerce as its main strengths, but it says Taiwan needs to improve on financial and labor freedom. Taiwan has turned to importing eggs from Australia to deal with the nationwide shortage. The first batch has already arrived. The shipment of 360,000 eggs will be sent to Taiwan's processed food industry. Those companies will release their stock of locally produced eggs to be sold on the domestic market. The head of Taiwan's agricultural agency said this will not affect domestic egg prices as the government will absorb the extra costs. Taiwan's egg shortage was brought about by an outbreak of bird flu and cooler winter temperatures. A total of 5 million eggs have been ordered from Australia. The government says the shortage should be resolved by the end of March. A chimpanzee at Taipei Zoo has been doing something odd with his leftover food, making almost artistic shapes. Meet Hua Zhi. He's almost 8 years old, which in human years means he's a teenager. And like a teenager, he can be rather expressive about his opinions. Chimpanzees mainly eat vegetables. Some of their favorites are green peppers, bitter melon, and eggplants. The veggies they don't like so much are spinach, lettuce, and pumpkin. These are usually left behind at meal times. As an imaginative adolescent, Hua Zhi likes to play with these leftovers, making creative displays for zookeepers to clean up, clearly showing some artistic aptitude. Yeah, yes, that was pun intended. Thank you for watching What's Up Taiwan. I'm Ethan. Take care, and I'll see you next time.